Good morning, class 10th. So, on my last turn, I started your chapter number 2, that is control and coordination. In that, I told that your chapter is divided into two parts, that is chemical control and coordination and nervous control and coordination. So, in chemical control and coordination, there are some hormones and some glands which consist or which you can say collectively these form a system which is known as endocrine system. And in endocrine system only we are discussing about the endocrine glands. Last time I also told you that glands are of two types: endocrine glands and exocrine glands and mixed glands. So, endocrine glands are the ductless glands which release their secretions or the hormones directly into the bloodstream. So, this system, which is formed by the various kind of the hormones secreted by different glands and the glands itself, these form a system which is known as endocrine system. It is made up of following these many glands, and its location is clear by this diagram. See, the pituitary gland is a kind of gland which is found in the hypothalamus part of the brain. This is the brain part where there is one region which is known as hypothalamus. In that hypothalamus, there is a very small gland present in the this part which is known as pituitary gland, and this gland is also known as master gland. Why? Because it controls activity of all these glands which are present in your body. Somehow this produces some kind of gland, some kind of hormones which actually control the activity of all other hormones. And then there is a one more gland which is known as pineal gland. This is present in back side of the hypothalamus. Its function I'll discuss with you later on. Then thyroid and parathyroid glands are present, which is present in the neck region. And neck region, that is the trachea part, that is the windpipe. On that it is present thyroid and parathyroid gland. And there is one more gland which is present, which is known as thymus gland, which is present in between the lungs and the above the heart. And there is one more gland which is known as pancreas, and I told you that this pancreas is actually a mixed gland. Then there is one gland which is known as adrenal gland, which is present on the kidneys. And in male and female both, these gonads are present, which is known as gonads are the glands which are present in male and female. Like ovaries are present in the females, and testes are present in the males. So these are the different glands, and they have different functions by producing different kind of the hormones. This I'll discuss with you in this today's video. Let us see what is pituitary gland, where it is present, and what are its functions. So basically, pituitary gland is also known as hypophysis, and it is present in the hypothalamus region of the brain, which is the base of the brain. And it is basically it is a kind of link which serves between the nervous and endocrine system. Means it is the link which is present in the chemical and nervous control and coordination, because it is present in the brain part. So hypothalamus actually controls the activity of the pituitary gland, and pituitary gland controls the activity of or other glands. That is why it is also known as master gland. It is actually responsible for all kind of the activities like the growth, development, metabolism, that is fats, how the fats and proteins are going to be digested, and homeostasis, that is the control of the salt and water level in your body, that is being controlled by the pituitary gland. This pituitary gland can be divided into two parts, that is posterior and interior pituitary gland. Posterior means the back side, and anterior means the front place of the pituitary gland. So here you can see this pituitary gland. This pituitary gland is present here in this region. see here in this brain, this is the part of brain, and this is the hypothalamus part, where you will see this is a small gland which is found attached to this hypothalamus part, and it controls all the activities of other glands. So you can see here, this is a pear shaped gland. It is having two lobes. Lobes means two parts are present, the posterior part, that is the back side, and the anterior part, which is present at the front side. So this produces different kinds of the hormones. Like posterior lobe only releases two kinds of hormones, that is ADH and oxytocin. ADH is also known as antidiuretic hormone, and this anterior lobe produces so many hormones like TSH, that is known as thyroid stimulating hormone, FSH, which is known as follicle stimulating hormone, LH, which is known as luteinizing hormone, ACTH, which is known as adrenocorticotropic hormone, PRL, which is known as prolactin hormone, and GH, which is known as growth hormone. So all these hormones are secreted by the pituitary gland, and this is the location of the pituitary gland. See, the anterior, posterior, two parts are there. So anterior lobe produces these many hormones which I just told you: GH, that is growth hormone; TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone; ACTH, that is known as adrenocorticotropic hormone; PRL, prolactin hormone; LH, luteinizing hormone; FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone. And the posterior lobe only secretes two kinds of the hormone, which basically it does not secrete any hormone, it only stores the hormone. So which is known as ADH, vasopressin, which is known as antidiuretic hormone, and oxytocin. So these are the hormones released by the pituitary gland. Now let us see what are the functions of these hormones. GH, which is also known as the growth hormone, it actually regulates the growth of your body by controlling the metabolism of fats and the carbohydrates. These are two basically fats, proteins and carbohydrates. These all are the hormone substances which are essential for the growth of your body. So basically by controlling the metabolism, that is the by digesting these substances, it actually controls the growth of your body, means how long, strong, or kind of person you are going to become. Then there is one hormone which is known as thyroid stimulating hormone. This thyroid stimulating hormone is actually responsible for the activity of the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, I just have shown you that it is present in the neck region. So when to produce the hormones of the thyroid gland, and how what is the requirement, wherever there is a requirement of thyroid, means the thyroxine hormone, then first of all this thyroid stimulating hormone will be released. It will go to the thyroid gland, and it will signal the thyroid gland that that this hormone, that thyroxine hormone is required. Then thyroxine hormone will be released by the thyroid gland. So basically its function is to control the activity of the thyroid gland. Then comes the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormones. These two hormones are basically responsible for the growth which occurs in during the adolescence of the child. When you reach the puberty age, at that time these two hormones work together to produce the hormones which are present in the male and females, and it is basically produced by the ovaries and testes. So estrogen and progesterones are the two hormones which are released by the ovaries. So uh, once the follicle stimulating hormone reaches there, then these hormones are formed, and in the testes, the production of sperm and testosterone, which is the male hormone, which is responsible for the secondary growth or the adolescent, the growth which occurs during the adolescence. These two hormones work together to produce to give you the secondary sexual characters. So follicular stimulating hormone, it actually forms the oocytes which are going to form the eggs released by the ovary, and in the same manner sperm is formed by the follicular stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone produces the hormones which are responsible for the secondary sexual characters like the male kind of voice, the beard, and the breast development. This occurs by the luteinizing hormone, which promotes the hormones that is estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So these are the hormones released by the anterior part of the pituitary gland. Some more hormones are also there. One is prolactin hormone. Prolactin hormone is actually the hormone which produces the milk in the mammals. When the mammals give birth to the young ones, they start producing the milk, and that is produced by the mammary gland, which is present in the breast of the females. So that is formed by the prolactin hormone, and once the prolactin hormone starts releasing, then it goes to the mammary gland, and mammary gland start producing the milk in the mammals. So prolactin hormone is there, which is produced by the anterior lobe, and two more hormones are there, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone and melanocyte stimulating hormone, MSH and ACTH. MSH, which is known as melanocyte stimulating hormone, it actually produces the melanin. Melanin is a kind of substance or a kind of a pigment which is produced in your body, and it gives you a kind of complexion. Either you are having a fair skin or you are having a dark skin, and that the pigment present in your hair, the pigment present in your eyes, that is being controlled by the melanocyte stimulating hormone. Melanocyte are actually the cells which are present in your skin, and when the hormone, this hormone MSH, reaches there, then it starts producing the melanin pigment, and whenever the melanin pigment is high, then the skin color will be dark. When there is a less melanin, then your skin color will be fair. So this is how this functions. Adrenocorticotropic is the hormone which regulates or stimulates the activity of the adrenal cortex part. Basically adrenal gland has two parts, the medulla and the cortex. So cortex part, the part which covers the adrenal gland, it regulates or the controls the activity of the adrenal gland cortex part. Now let us see uh, the posterior lobe. What are the hormones present in the posterior lobe? So posterior lobe basically forms or secretes two kinds of the hormones, oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone, which is also known as vasopressin. Oxytocin is a kind of hormone which is released by the females during the childbirth. When the child when the embryo is completely mature and it is going to come out of the uterus, at that time this oxytocin hormone is released, which controls the activity of the uterine walls, and by contracting the uterine walls, the child can be delivered easily, and it also helps in the production of milk during the feeding when the child is born. And ADH, which is also known as antidiuretic hormone or the vasopressin hormone, this hormone is responsible for the water balance. Basically it is means when the I told you about the structure of nephron, and in the nephron some regions are present, some tubules are present which absorb the water from that part. So excess of the water in your body is being absorbed, or you can say it is being reabsorbed by the nephron when the ADH, which is known as antidiuretic hormone, when it is released in the blood, it absorbs the water from the body. So you can say that the water balance can be done by antidiuretic hormone, which is released by the posterior part of the pituitary gland. So this is how the pituitary gland is present, and these are the functions of the pituitary gland. Now let us take some two more glands today, that is thyroid gland and the parathyroid gland. Both are found in the same region, that is the neck region. So it is present in the trachea, and trachea, you know, that is known as the windpipe. It is present in the front of the larynx. Larynx is known as the vocal cord, or the voice box are present. This voice box is known as the larynx, and it is present at the 5th, 6th or 7th cervical and thoracic vertebra. That is the cervical part of the vertebral part. It is present there, and its weight is about 25 gram, and it consists of the two lobes, that is the sides of the lobes. Let me show you the diagram, then it will be clear to you. See, this is the thyroid gland which is present here. If you see that this looks like a butterfly, okay, this butterfly shaped thyroid gland, it is present, it has two lobes, the left lobe and the right lobe, and it is present on the trachea and below the larynx region. This is the larynx part. So this thyroid gland is like a butterfly shaped gland present in the neck region, below the neck region, and its function is to produce two kinds of hormones are basically produced by it. One is thyroxine and second is triiodothyronine, that is T3 and T4. These two hormones are only these will be secreted when your body is having iodine, because iodine is essential for the formation of these two hormones, that is T4 and T3 hormones. When the iodine is in your body, it is being absorbed, it reaches there in the thyroid gland, and it produces these thyroxine and triiodothyronine hormone. These are these its function is its function is being controlled by the pituitary gland, as I told you, and these have different function. That is, both the hormone, that is thyroxine, T3 and T4 hormones, they help in the growth of your body, the growth of your skeletal system, the growth of your nervous system, the growth of your cells. All this thing is being done by these two hormones, T3 and T4, and means it will stimulate the growth of your body. You have seen that some people have some issue of with the thyroid, they have some thyroid, high thyroid, less thyroid. So basically, if the thyroid gland is hyperactive, at that time your weight will start increasing, because this thyroxine is going to function in the growth area. So when there is more growth, then you will become more and more cells will be formed, and your growth will be abnormal at that time. And if it is less, then your body will become lean. So it controls the growth of your body in all the ways, like skeleton, muscular system, nervous system. All the systems are being growth of the all systems is being controlled by the thyroxine. And there is one more hormone which is known as calcitonin. So calcitonin is basically, it is formed by the C cells which are present in the thyroid gland, which are also known as parafollicular cells. These help in lowering the calcium ions in your body, that is the calcium level. When you take up any food which is having calcium, at that time, if it is more in the amount in your blood, at that time this hormone will be released, and it will start lowering the calcium level in your body by reabsorbing it by it promotes the absorption of calcium ions in the bones. In that manner, so calcium which is extra in your blood, it will be absorbed, it will reach to the bone, your bone will become strong. And if it also stops the reabsorption of calcium in the kidneys, because in kidney nephron region, calcium, mean I told you that extra salts are being reabsorbed, but this because calcium is required in your body, so it stops the absorption or reabsorption of the calcium in the nephron, so that it can be reabsorbed by the bones and your bones will become strong. So basically calcitonin is responsible for the strength of your bones. If calcitonin is not present, then calcium level will keep on increasing in your blood, and it will affect means it will reach in the kidney region, and it will form the stones in that part. So basically calcitonin is required for the absorption or in decreasing the amount of calcium in your blood. Then comes the parathyroid gland. So parathyroid gland, if you see, these are the four glands which are present in the sides of the thyroid gland. Its weight is about 50 kg, and where it is present I'll show you. See, this is the thyroid gland, and in the thyroid gland at the posterior part, this is the front part, that is the anterior part of the this gland. At the back, means you can see at the back of your neck region. Okay, this is the posterior part of the this thyroid gland. Here you will see at the sides, at the corners, there are four small glands present which are known as parathyroid gland. Their function is they release only one kind of the hormone which is known as parathyroid hormone, which is also known as parathormone. This hormone regulates the level of calcium in your body. Basically its function is to increase the blood calcium level, and once the calcium is being increased, it is being reabsorbed by the renal tubules, that is the nephron tubules, that is DTC, PTC, and all those tubules. So those tubules reabsorb the calcium, and they carry it to again to the blood, and it will be reabsorbed by the bones. So this means this thyroid gland and parathyroid gland both function in the same way. One does the function of increasing the calcium level, and second does the function of decreasing the calcium level, so that in both ways you can say the calcium level remains balanced in your body. So now my topic is complete. If you have any query, you can ask during the class. Homework I'll give you during the class. Thank you, class.